They convicted Daniel Reyes of murder in 1998, sentenced him to life. Then, in the spring of 2024, a warehouse crew clearing out a decommissioned records facility found a box that was supposed to no longer exist, Evidence Box 14C, logged as destroyed by fire 21 years earlier. Inside it, a fingerprint card that never made it into the trial. So why does the county's own destruction record, dated 2003, describe a fire that inspectors now say never touched that storage unit? Here's what the jury was told. On the night of October 9, 1998, someone strangled 34-year-old Marisol Vance in her apartment on Delridge Street. Reyes, her neighbor, had no alibi. Police said his fingerprint was lifted from the doorframe. The prosecution built the entire case on one exhibit, fingerprint card 7, matched to Reyes by a single technician, presented as clean, uncontested, final. The jury took 90 minutes. 26 years old, working construction, gone. The box that surfaced in 2024 wasn't just paperwork. It was the original evidence container, sealed, initialed, still carrying the property clerk's 1998 signature. Chain of custody is the paper trail proving evidence stayed untouched from crime scene to courtroom. This box broke that trail twice. First, it was marked destroyed in a 2003 records purge nobody can produce authorization for. Second, when investigators pried it open last year, they found not one fingerprint card but two. Card 7, the one jurors saw, and Card 3, a card the trial transcript never once mentions. Card 3 was lifted from the same doorframe the same night by the same technician, but it doesn't match Daniel Reyes. It matches an unidentified partial, never run through the state database, never disclosed to the defense. Under the law at the time, prosecutors were required to turn over every piece of exculpatory evidence, anything that could point toward innocence. A second, unmatched print from the murder scene is exactly that. The trial record shows one card. The evidence box shows two. Both can't be the complete file, which means somebody chose which one the jury got to see. So why did this box sit unopened for over 2 decades when the case never stopped being appealed? Because the storage facility wasn't run by the county at all. It was privately contracted in 1999, and audits of that contractor stopped after 2001. Nobody with subpoena power ever walked its aisles. The county's own destruction certificate cited a fire in Unit C, but fire marshal records obtained this year show no incident report for that building, ever. The box wasn't destroyed. It was filed somewhere no defense attorney could reach and no court order technically covered, because on paper, it didn't exist. But the missing fingerprint card wasn't the strangest part of what they found. Taped to the underside of the box lid was a manila envelope, marked in handwriting, "Do not log." Inside was a single page, a witness interview summary, dated October 11, 1998, 2 days after the murder. It named a man never called to testify, Frank Delgado, Marisol Vance's former co-worker, who told police he'd been at her apartment earlier that night over what the summary calls a dispute about money. Delgado's name appears nowhere in the trial record. Not in witness lists, not in police reports entered as exhibits, nowhere except this single page, hidden inside a box the county swore had burned. Here's the detail that turns coincidence into something else. The interview summary is signed by the same property clerk who sealed the evidence box. Handwriting analysis commissioned this year confirms it. That clerk wasn't just storing evidence. He wrote down the one lead that could have cleared Reyes, then buried it himself, in the same container marked for destruction. Records show he requested a transfer out of the department 3 weeks after Reyes' sentencing. He's never been interviewed about it. He's not the corrupt detective this story might make him out to be. Colleagues describe him as quiet, thorough, uninvolved in the investigation itself. Which raises the harder question. Who told him to make Card 3 and Frank Delgado disappear? The district attorney's office says it's reviewing the newly discovered materials. Reyes, now 51, remains in custody while that review proceeds, no timeline given. His original defense attorney, now retired, says he requested the full evidence inventory in 1998, and was told in writing that Box 14C contained no additional forensic material. That letter is dated 11 days before the clerk sealed the envelope inside it. Nobody has explained who ordered a functioning evidence box marked for destruction, while it still held an unmatched fingerprint and a suspect's name. Nobody has explained why a fire that left no trace in any incident report became the official reason a defense team never saw it. The box existed the entire time in a building, on a shelf, 12 miles from the courthouse where Daniel Reyes was sentenced to die in prison. The only question left is the one the county still hasn't answered. What else did they file as destroyed?